We are back for the Soul Supplier podcast, episode 13, with myself, George, from the Soul Supplier.
I'm Alex Vass sometimes.
And today's very special guest, Logan Sama.
Evening, lads. Hello.
How you doing today?
Yeah, good. I'm all right, thanks.
You've been pretty busy before we got in the room.
Yeah, wearing all my hats, many different hats at the same time.
Many different hats, yeah.
Have to these days in the music industry.
Yeah, so for those of you out there that don't know about Logan Sama, I mean, I've been tuning into some of his after hours and keeping it grimy grime sets for a lot of years now. One of my favourites being the Rough Squad one that you did.
The soundtrack to our youth.
Well, yeah, but the Rough Squad set for me back in the day was what like got me proper tuned in to what you was doing.
Wicked. Everyone's always got like a different one. There's a few bait ones that a lot of people say, but like there's always ones that people mention back to me that are like, oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, because obviously I was.
What? So you sort of forget some.
Well, I was doing
like...
them one a week for 9.5 years. So yeah. There's definitely a few that I've forgotten.
Yeah, because Rough Squad were on a few times as well. So like that was.
We've only been podcasting for like 12 weeks and George has forgotten them already. So
yeah, so.
You've always got to come in with the quick banter. Cash wanted me to do an intro, but this is what was Cash's intro? It was shout out Cash as well. He wanted me to say the Soul Supplier podcast, the best podcast, sneakers and lifestyle podcast in the world.
Yeah, this is why Cash is still on probation.
Cash, as you can tell, Cash's slogans are not quite there yet, but his video is killing the game. Yeah. So Logan,
let's get it.
Talk to us.
Where did it start for you, man? Where did the kind of sneakerhead footwear culture start for you? What was the first shoe that got you into it?
Air Max 95. It was on the back of a comic book. It was just a Nike advert on the back with a neon yellow Air Max 95. I remember seeing it and thinking it looked like nothing I'd ever seen before. And
what, the classic neon with the black and the grey?
Yeah, the tonal grey, neon yellow.
Yeah. OG. And, it's a sick shoe.
Yeah, I saw it on the back of like an X-Men comic as a full-page advert on the back page. And I remember my old man, a couple of times a year, would go away to America. And I'd always ask him to pick me something up, like one thing. I'd get one, like bring me back one thing, and that time it was like, oh yeah, can you get me the Nike Air Max?
So was it only available in the US?
I don't know.
But back then though, like
it wasn't like Foot Locker, JD Sports. You could just walk in and just pick up the new Nikes, because it was like there was sports shops then. You went to sports shops to get you. Because I'm old.
Was it All Sport, wasn't it? It was on a First Sport. First Sport was JD,
I'm before that.
You're not that much older than us, man. I'm 28.
Yeah, I'm nearly 10 years older than you, mate. So.
Yeah, okay.
You don't even know you're born, mate.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's like that thing in fair enough. Isn't it? Old around that.
So anyway, my old man went away and he came back and he gave me the Nike box and I opened it and it was the Air Max 96. And obviously every year the Air Max looked completely different back then. Like the 95, the 94, 93, they all look completely different. So I got this shoe and it was very, very different from the one I was hoping for. I was still really happy because it was like a sick shoe, but it wasn't this one that I'd spent like a month and a half, 2 months looking at. So that kind of put that thing in the back of my brain on missing out on things. And I think that kind of, the fact that I didn't get the shoe is the thing that set me down the path of becoming an obsessive trainer collector.
And did you get the shoe eventually?
Not for like about 10 years, I don't think.
Oh man!
Until they started retroing.
You know, it's a similar sort of thing. Like I remember as a kid, like my mum and my dad would literally only buy me Reebok workouts. That's it. That was all I was getting, because my mum just couldn't afford to buy Air Max back then. I think.
Well, how much were the Reebok workouts then? When you say back then,
50 quid. It's like about £20 cheaper than what they are now.
Yeah. But you used to love Rush Runs as well, right? You
had that one when I was a kid, though, mate.
You had the biggest Rush Run collection. Is that
idiot?
Is that
no? That is not true at all. The biggest Rush Run collection. Could you imagine?
You remember that shoe, Logs? The Rush Run.
I remember that brief 6-month period that the Rushy Run had.
Yeah, that was Alex's. Alex's favourite.
That OG colour, the black with the like silver swoosh and the white sole, mate. That's one of my.
Bruv, do you remember how popular that is?
Yeah.
Like Logan said,
so
6 months. It
was more than 6 months.
It was longer than 6 months, but that shoe just.
And they had like an evolution of that shoe as well.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of it. There was another model that came after it. But listen, don't hate on the Rush Run, man. Don't hate on the Rush Run.
For me. Just weren't for
No.
Hey, it was crazy comfortable.
I'm winding him up. It's
Listen,
not his
you're not
favourite.
winding me up. It was comfortable shoe, man. I'm a big fan of it. I still wear it now. In fact, you know what? I'm gonna wear it on a podcast.
Are you gonna bring it back?
Yeah.
I don't.
Bring it back
I
on the
think that's
podcast.
one shoe that just won't come back. I think you're wrong, man. Real. Gotta be real with you.
I think you're wrong, personally. But similar to what Logan was saying, it was the same sort of thing. Like I was looking at like Air Maxes in. I remember when it was First Sport. The one I was on Holloway Road near where I lived, and like it was like Air Max Limited, and it was just too much money, man. My mum couldn't afford it, and that's essentially what kind of spurred me on to want to get more when I kind of had my own money. Still though, my first shoe that I always say that got me into this was the Cortez, the OG, the Forrest Gump one.
Yeah.
Just I remember watching it like in the film and kind of seeing it like this is crazy how this shoe just became so symbolic to it, and then obviously you had like Back to the Future with the mags and stuff like that. And
so you saw Forrest Gump and you wanted to dress like Forrest Gump. Did you start wearing jack-ups as well?
Look, this is basically how Forrest Gump looked in that film. Mine, other than the beard.
Some people saw Space Jam and wanted Jordans. You saw Forrest Gump and wanted Cortezes.
Yeah, standard, bro.
That's the next thing.
Listen, trendsetter, man. I'm pretty sure there's a scene in that film where he's wearing a white t-shirt, check shirt, a hat, and he's running, and I think the t-shirt says "Have a Nike Day." Remember, he wipes his face with the t-shirt. Listen, now you know where my inspiration comes from. You nailed it.
I never knew
Are
that.
you any good at table tennis?
Yeah, all that time I spent in prison. His was in the army, but mine was in prison.
Are you good at table tennis?
I'm pony, mate.
Yeah? I thought you were bringing it up because you had some skill.
No, I wasn't calling him out. We weren't going to clear the table out and put up a net.
No, Logan's got mad arms though. He just like smash it. And the ball just falling hard.
That's bad, bruv, because like you get tired.
Immobility as well. Need that WD-40 halfway through.
Nah.
Logan, you are into gaming though, aren't you?
Yeah.
You do some commentating, right?
Yeah, for Street Fighter. So I got into Street Fighter 4 when that came out on Xbox 360 in 2009. Like I saw some videos of it in 2008 when it was in the arcades in Japan, and I hadn't really. There's like a super competitive scene for fighting games like Tekken and Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter.
When to me it's like so much luck involved.
There's
it's
no
not, man. It's
involved
skill,
whatsoever.
bro.
So,
it's skill.
Like, I saw it, and I remember in like Street Fighter 2, I'd kind of like it's cool, it's whatever. I never really played it that much though. But when I saw Street Fighter 4, it was all of the same characters and stuff, but they're all in 3D models, and I thought, yeah, man, it looks amazing. So I wanted to try that out. Picked it up, like started learning how to do all the movements properly. Like I'm a nerd in anything I'm into. Like I'm a proper nerd, so I will.
Got a bit of an addictive personality.
I'll look it up. Like I just like to know things. Like I really enjoy. Like with music, I got into music because I like to know all the names of the tracks and when it's coming out and what label it was on and all that sort of stuff. And eventually, from collecting records, I started mixing. And yeah, I discovered this like tournament scene. And yeah, like they're really skillful. Like there's literally no luck involved because the same people keep winning. Like at the top, you see the same people continually getting results.
I guess to the general public, it seems like a lot of button bashing. That's the term.
Yeah. No, people like you who don't know how to play games, I guess it would be button bashing.
Okay. Just
yeah, but
that exact thing
that would imply that like it's a coin flip. But if you like, if I had a coin flip competition with you, and I won every single time, you'd think I'd think that you had a skill, or I'd just be like cheating somehow. But obviously, there's no cheating involved.
No, man, it's mad. Like, and like you said, the scene is crazy.
Competitive
and even
gaming in general, esports in general, like it's really big.
But you play as well, right?
I play a bit, but not enough to be competitive with the guys that are sponsored and what have you. But like, I might take 1 or 2 games off of someone in a long session. But yeah, they're really, really good.
How long are they playing in a day?
Like the very best players in the world who are on like proper sponsorship contracts where they're earning like 10-20 grand a month on salary.
Jesus Christ.
Not just prize money, that's their salary pay. They're probably playing 6 to 8 hours a day training. Like so they take
it's their full-time job.
Aside from any of the physical exertion that you do from real sport, it's exactly the same because you have to study like how the game works and understand like how to exploit the game. Like when you play FIFA, right? if you try and play FIFA like it's actually real football, you'll not win
100%.
against people that know how to play. Because they use exploits. Like, they know how the AI works. They know what angles to play. They know that sort of stuff, the game mechanics. And it's a different thing from, obviously, like, you're throwing fireballs and doing teleports and stuff, so it ain't like a real fight. But
do these people then switch what games they play?
Sometimes.
So if you're good at one, then you're gonna have the learning curve's
not
gonna be
in general.
better.
Yeah, the mechanics will be different for each game.
Not generally, but like, there are transferable skills, definitely. Like, you're being able to understand and break down how the game works is transferable. Same way, like, I can mix grime. If you asked me to mix house, I wouldn't be sick at it. I could learn because I have transferable skills. It's a similar sort of thing.
Who's your character of choice on Street Fighter?
In Street Fighter 4, I played Dudley, who's like a British boxer. But
Dudley, such a good name.
Yeah, he's not in the game. He's not in Street Fighter 5, so I play Ken at the moment. He's not.
So
great.
Dudley weren't good enough to make it.
He just wasn't in.
You're good.
So.
Cool.
Cash has just decided to get up and start messing with the cameras. What's going on, man?
Running through the.
Do you know what I mean? We never had this with Sam. Why are you?
Yeah.
What's going on?
That's cold. There's a big crossover now, though, Logan, isn't there, with sportswear and the gaming scene. So, like, I see brands trying to sort of blend because there's common interest.
Yeah,
there.
it's a weird one. They don't really know how to get into it.
Yeah.
Though, because you've got these sponsored players who are just normal people as well, and they have disposable income because they're earning good money. You know, 6-figure salaries and stuff. So they're going out and they are buying high-end clothing, Off-Whites, and
they want to look the best when they're
do you know what I mean? And then you have the kind of sportswear crossover where a lot of the organizations that are sponsoring these players have their own branded like shirts and apparel, merchandise and stuff. So, but there's not like, they haven't really managed to key in how to bring gaming and streetwear together as of yet.
I mean, you look at games like, for example, the NBA games, and they're slightly different, but they've got like features where, like the characters can wear Fear of Gods.
Oh, really?
Like the Nike Fear of God 1.
I can imagine that because Nike is...
So
and it's so intrinsically important to the game being realistic as well. Like, that started out with making sure that you have got all of the up-to-date footwear that the players are playing in, and obviously there's a crossover in that, and where you have basketball silhouettes that are more fashion orientated than utility orientated. You put them in the game and you get a cool crossover there.
And do you have to buy them, as in like in-game purchases?
Some days there's I think sometimes there's packs that you can buy. Other times there's updates. They just updates.
Which is crazy, isn't it? Like, I don't game a lot anymore because I just find I don't have the time. Like, played Red Dead Redemption 2, which was great, but the time you needed to invest to get good at it and play the game well, like to just explore on a horse. You're traveling you can spend an hour riding a horse across the country. It takes a long time, but
my missus loves playing Red Dead Redemption. She doesn't do any of the missions or anything like that. She just
likes
going out and exploring and hunting and.
It's like doing Grand Theft Auto, though. Same sort of thing, innit? You just go around carjacking people and starting fires.
I got lost in this Tetris Blitz game on my iPhone.
Okay.
Have you played it?
No. Mobile gaming's a whole next.
I bought it on at the airport.
Yeah.
I was thinking it's a plane thing. There's power-ups in this game. They have gamified it to the best level. Like, so you're addicted. Daily challenges, leaderboards, bonuses, everything is in there. Mini games, coins, Gold Rush. They've got, it's like a gamble.
All of these games are all designed to make you come back and want to play them regularly. Right?
Yeah, man. They have nailed it. I spent a lot in that game.
Yeah, it's all microtransactions as well. So you don't even realise you're spending a lot.
Yeah.
Most of the biggest games in the world in terms of competitive, like, so you look at some of the biggest console games and you're looking at Call of Duties and Grand Thefts and Red Deads and some of these games that are coming out. And they sell really good numbers, but if you look at the number of players that are playing games that a lot of people haven't heard of, like League of Legends, Dota, Counter-Strike.
Counter-Strike's still going.
Yeah, Counter-Strike is probably one of the biggest competitive esports in the world because they have people playing that, and again, they'll buy skins for their guns and stuff and camo and all that stuff.
I've done that back in the day.
Yeah, and they trade that as well. Like, it's worth money because you can trade it. It inherently has a value. Do you know what I mean? Stuff is a rare drop and all that kind of stuff. So they've basically kind of turned it into... They're very clever how they've monetized these games, but their player bases are enormous. Like, they're like 10 times more players than some of the biggest console games.
Do you know what the player base is then for Counter-Strike?
They're all in like the 50 to 100 million players.
And they're monetizing in-game with micro.
Absolutely.
So that business is crazy.
That's why esports is booming, because the games that do well, and obviously Fortnite's probably the biggest example of it because it's cross-platform and anyone can. I can play you on your Xbox on my mobile, and my mate can be on his PC. Yeah, so that's really revolutionised things. They've got a player base, I think, of around like 120 million. And if you think of 120 million people all being encouraged to keep coming back, and we've got new skins and new dances and new this and that, and here's the season pass, and obviously it's really accessible to kids, and there's loads of young kids playing it as well, and they're spending a $5 from their mum here and there and what have you, pocket money in the game, because they all play with their mates, they're not going outside. It's bringing in massive amounts of money. So for a few of these games, they're generating insane amounts of money.
Can they monetize it then, sportswear brands, by selling their own gear in the games? So if in Fortnite you could wear the new Off-White Nike.
Well, they do definitely do collabs and stuff. They just did the Jordan one, so that's a really good, actually.
Is it?
Yeah, there was a Fortnite Jordan
they
collection.
So you can wear.
You
can wear the Air Jordan 1 in Fortnite. I don't think they've done a collaboration the other way around where there's a Fortnite Jordan that you can buy.
No, that's what I mean.
It's just
okay, no, I didn't see.
But that's a massive partnership, a real landmark partnership.
Yeah. That's a game breaking. That's innovation, right?
Yeah, and they've done a lot of film ones with Avengers. There's a John Wick one, all that sort of stuff. So they're doing IP crossovers, but the streetwear thing is obviously quite new. But that's huge. They're realizing that normal people play games. It's not like in the 90s where it was like nerdy people locked away in their bedroom. It's like normal people will play games for a couple of hours. Like you said, you'll ride around on a horse for an hour. You can sit around with your mates with your headset on and play Call of Duty for 3 hours and not even realise that it's been 3 hours. So, it's a normal, accepted cultural thing now, and more of the things that are reflected in culture will therefore be reflected in the game.
I've got a 17-year-old brother who lives in Cyprus, and he is absolutely obsessed, like literally obsessed. He's one of these people that will just spend money and money, and I know this because his PlayStation account is linked to my email. So I just keep getting emails.
What games is he playing?
Fortnite, Call of Duty, there is two. But literally, I just get an email. I get maybe 3 or 4 emails a day saying more funds have been added to your wallet. I'm like, man, how's this kid getting all this money, man?
What's his name?
Andreas.
Shout out Andres.
That was pretty bad impression, but fair enough.
Yeah, shout out Andres.
It's not just gaming that you're into though. I mean, you are quite big into Warhammer as well, aren't you?
To be honest with you, like anything that I get into, I generally don't drop. So,
it's kind of all or nothing.
Like all the stuff that
How do you juggle all of this?
Just social media lets you keep in touch with stuff that's going on, and I travel a lot, so I get to read and absorb a lot of information and what have you.
I saw on your go on. I saw on your Instagram stories that you went to, was it Comic-Con recently? You went to one of the conventions recently.
Oh, Warhammer Fest.
Yeah.
Warhammer Fest.
And I kind of make that connection because obviously Morgan as well. Morpram's massively into it as well.
Yeah.
And when I mentioned to him that you were coming on the podcast, he was saying like how he'd love to sit down one day and chop it up with you about Warhammer because he absolutely loves it. And he paints the figurines and whatnot. And literally, the skill level is unbelievable.
It's massively skillful, insanely, because you're painting insane detail on something that big.
Exactly.
The paintbrushes are like a few hairs. Like the guys that are good at that. It's
I did try when I was younger.
Yeah, everyone gave it a go.
Yeah,
slapped a Space Marine.
Yeah,
looked horrible. Put it down.
I mean, my dad knew the guy that had the glass cabinet with all the Warhammer painted. He took me around there and was like, "Look at this guy." He's like, "You try." He bought me some Warhammer. I was just
painting with your hands and stuff.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
I'm looking. I've got that image in my head still of the glass cabinet with all the big Warhammers and that's so sick, man.
It's so mad because I literally did none of this as a kid.
No.
Yeah, like it was never ever anything that I kind of ever got involved in.
It's just like testing things out, isn't it?
Yeah, no, but I think my whole life was so just built around football. That's why.
Yeah, it's just like what have you come across? Especially if like you find something and that's enough for you. Do you know what I mean? Like if you find 100%. Something and that's enough for you, then you're not going to be searching for bare other random stuff. And to be fair, like if you're spending most of your time running around in a field with a bunch of other lads, like going into a smelly Warhammer Games Workshop store with a bunch of fat.
To be fair, mate, the change room was pretty smelly as well, man. And there were some pretty fat geezers in the team. So
probably, but at least you got in the shower afterwards. You know what I mean? And that you weren't turning up to the shop smelling like you've been playing 90 minutes. As some of these guys
you turn up here like that sometimes.
Yeah, cheers, man. Thanks.
What I can get from this is like something I've been thinking about this week is that I know some people who don't really have a passion yet.
Yeah.
And they're like coming up to 30 years old.
Yeah.
And they just haven't found that thing that they love. But you seem to find that early. And I was always into like, I'd get bang into things like quite obsessive. And it's like, I don't know, I was thinking back to where my passion started, or you develop that skill of being passionate and obsessive about something.
Yeah.
And then you can transfer it. And it's like, you've just found that in loads of different things, haven't you?
I think if I get some kind of like positive reaction from something, I'll always remember it. Do you know what I mean? Like if I feel good about something, like that means something to me, so I'll kind of remember it, which is why I can see, like I can watch Transformers the movie from 1986 and remember when I was 4 years old seeing that and it being blowing my mind, and I still like feel happy and warm inside because that's how I felt back then. Same way I can hear garage records that I raved to when I was 17, 18 and hear them now and they come on and I feel, I feel that same sort of warmness because like I just have happy memories attached to it. So that's why I think that, as a big man in my mid 30s, I can still happily sit there and read Marvel comics or read a Warhammer 40,000 codex and flick through the pictures of the models and appreciate how good the art is, or spend 3 hours talking about Street Fighter whilst other people are playing. Just fortunate that I've been able to monetize some of these hobbies. Like everything I do is a hobby. Literally everything I do is a hobby. DJing was a hobby.
Yeah.
The Street Fighter stuff was a hobby. I've been fortunate enough that I've been able to monetize a few of them. I think maybe just because I'm so passionate about it.
The first one was DJing though, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And how old were you when you started out?
That
was the
kind of
first
late.
passion.
Kind of late. I was like a music collector, but I didn't learn how to mix until like 2000. So I'd have been 19. And then by 2002, I got invited to go on Rinse, and that was mainly just because I was on forums all the time, being a know-it-all smart.
Posting sets?
No,
that you emit?
No, like it
oh,
was
what?
more
So
like,
you were invited as a guest to talk about?
No, I did a few sets. Like I had a few Pirate Radio guest shows and stuff. But Doug's, who's the guy that was really running Rinse on day-to-day business, yeah, exactly. Uncle Doug's, who's a legend, he doesn't get talked about enough. But
I still listen to his sets sometimes. They used to be on a Friday afternoon.
Yeah. Sick jungle DJ, like an old school breaks and hardcore. But he asked me to come in and do send him a demo. So I just put together a demo, and it was basically like all of the promos and white labels and stuff that I'd blagged out of record shops, because I used to bunk off of uni and just go around all the West End record shops and just see what promos I could pick up. Because again, like I'm a mad collector. Same way with trainers. Same way with the records, like I want all the new stuff, I want the stuff that no one else can get, I want it early as well.
So uni didn't go well then?
I got bored. I was really bored with uni. I was at uni doing maths and physics at King's College, joint honours. Oh man, fair play. And it was really boring, and I was only doing it because maths was the most employable degree. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. Like when I was in secondary school, I had this idea of being a lawyer, but literally it was just, again, it was like, oh yeah, lawyer's this gas job, you'll be rich, and I didn't know anything about law. And then I was like, I still don't really know what I want to do, but I know if I get a maths degree, it's the most employable degree, best starting wage. I'll get a job in the city. My old man used to work in insurance. He worked in finance, and I've got something somewhere. But
a lot of people don't think like that though when it comes to a degree, do they? They just think, oh, what sounds cool? What do I like the sound of?
Yeah, but
But it's a good way to think, I would say, because you study an academic or an employable degree.
For me, it was super boring,
and so it just didn't work out. So
So
swings and roundabouts.
I did 2 years. Like at the end of my second year, I was like, I'm really forcing myself through this. And if I'm only doing this 3-year degree course, well maybe 4, I might have done a master's. But if I'm only doing this course just to get a job that I'm not super interested in either, and I'm already kind of burnt out now, there's no way I'm going to be able to work in like a job in the city until I'm 60 years old. That's that's going to be impossible for me, clearly, because I can't focus enough on this degree course. So I decided to drop out of uni and be a DJ and make my mum cry.
How have you found that like the sportswear trend and the footwear trend especially has kind of changed over your time during the music industry? Because there was a time, like I remember back to like
no one cared really about like exclusive, like this weird perceived. I think social media is what's changed it, because like back in the day you would buy any pair of trainers
that looked nice
and you wear them and your mates would go, oh, they're sick, where'd you get them? You'd be like, I'm not going to tell you, mate. And that was the exclusive.
That was the thing, yeah. It was a case of you having something that someone else didn't have.
Yeah.
Whereas
so
now
like,
everything's limited, but everyone has the same thing.
Yeah, it's still a thing of I want this thing that other people potentially can't get, but like you can get it if you've got enough money to throw it. And it's a weird thing where people are buying stuff because they're seeing other people wanting it. So they think if I have it, and it's the thing that everyone else wants, then I'll be cool. And I feel there's definitely a bit of that through social media, because back in the day, everyone's just wearing workouts and whatever Air Maxes they can find in First Sport, as you said. What was it? JJB.
Yeah.
JJB.
Shout out JJB. That was like the Sports Direct before Sports Direct, wasn't it?
Forgotten about that completely.
Or if you happen to go up West End and go to like one of the 3 Foot Lockers that existed, or you were smart and you found one of them online stores that would send you Nikes from America because they were all completely different to the ones you could get here.
Yeah.
And asked them very nicely to mark them down as $20 value used shoes.
That used to work.
I used to do that all the time. I had bear stores.
What,
like,
so overseas?
Shops. Yeah, just online shops. Like they call them mom and pop stores in America.
Yeah.
And they'd have like online. I can't remember the name of the shops, man, but yeah, back in the day, you used to have completely different lines that would come out in Europe. And America.
We were talking about this.
Different.
We were talking about this last show, I think.
So I would literally just buy normal general release Air Maxes from America, and no one would be able to get them here, and I'd just be sick. Cool.
That's it.
Because at the end of the day, like, so you got Off-White Air Force Ones on, right?
Yeah.
Like they're essentially, I mean, they are different material and the construction's different, but they're essentially an Air Force One.
Yeah, 100%.
So like if someone else had an Air Force One and they look sick, they would also be desirable as well, until you realise, oh, actually, wait, I can get them up the road for £105 and they're everywhere, so they're not as hard to get. But back in the day, when you had to kind of go out and look for things and make a bit more of an effort, but be rewarded for it, it was like you didn't have to spend £6 to get a shoe that other people couldn't get. It was just a case of they didn't know how to get them, but kind of the internet's democratized everything a bit, which is cool, but at the same way it's turned everyone a bit sheepy, isn't it, really?
Also, it weren't really cool to spend £6 on trainers back in the day. The most expensive thing people were wearing were like Prada Cups, and if you didn't have a pair of Prada Cups back in the day, like it was
Prada Cups,
Prada America Cups. Do you know what Prada trainers are?
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
the like roundy ones.
Yeah,
and they used to be like the black
American Cups. America's Cup.
I
They
didn't
were
know that's
based
what they
on
were
the
called.
yachting. Yeah, they were made for the yacht teams. That's
Oh right, I had a pair of patterned ones. Yeah.
So everyone either had like the black one with the little red like Prada logo, or they had like it was like a grey and a blue.
Yeah, like I've seen
or the high-tech ones with the straps on.
Yeah. They weren't too like too popular though, man. I think the first time the first time I found a pair of them, I think was in Bicester.
Yeah.
Bicester was a shop back in it. No.
I guess you kind of had like the development of the scene was, I guess, some of those stores where they would make the effort to import stuff as well, or find stuff that had sold out.
Well, it's like the Averex jackets and Lot 29 tracksuits and academics.
So you had like Global Sports and Meteor Sports in Bethnal Green that I used to go to a lot, and they'd be like,
there's one in Shepherd's Bush as well. That
Global. They were the two, like, probably the most famous ones in London. And you go there and they'd either have like stuff from America that you couldn't get here, or they'd have stuff that had come and gone, and like you'd really, like you buy a pair of trainers and you'd wear it bare and they get beat and you're like, I wish I doubled up on him or whatever. So they'd kind of do that as well. They'd have them and they'd just park them off and then bring them out the next year, and it's like, oh, you got these, but they're £2 now. And they were effectively just like, they were just selling crepes to shotters pretty much. They were doing.
People buying cash.
There was them stores on Oxford Street that like you'd go in there and they'd have the Averex tracksuit, or they had the academics tracksuits, and you'd be like,
dark and cold. And
I don't know if they're real. I don't know if they're fake, but I'm
A9s.
but I'm willing to take the risk. I remember I had the grey one with a bit of yellow
academics.
and yeah.
I need to see a picture of you.
Oh, mate, they were always massive as well.
Extra big.
And then we had
That's
the
what
shot
you see
jackets
them
as
though.
well. Do you remember when shot jackets were massive?
Yeah. I remember.
Mate,
I had a black shot jacket.
Listen,
Yeah.
the people, there's going to be some of the younger people that are like 16, 17 following us now going, what are they on about? Shot jackets.
Right.
I had a shot jacket with
They'll
fur.
come back round in 3 years and then everyone will pretend they knew all about them. That's how it works, right?
Exactly, man.
Yeah, man, I love retro 90s Umbro shell suits. They're amazing. Of course you do. Of course you love them.
You seem like there's a little bit of resentment towards the scene in the sense of the way it's gone.
Only in that, like, people are not really personally expressive of their own styles.
Yeah, you mentioned the word sheep. I've used that a lot. Like,
Like, I don't mind if people want to wear whatever they want to wear. I think that's sick.
Yeah.
But, like, when they're wearing stuff because everyone else is wearing it, it's like, it is following fashion. Yeah, it's following fashion.
Yeah.
There's not enough individuality, is there?
no. And people don't stick to something like, I'm not using me as an example, but I like Air Forces. So I buy a lot of Air Forces.
Yeah.
If a high heat shoe happens to be an Air Force, I want to get it.
Yeah,
'Cause
it,
I like,
doubly. Yeah, especially.
That's it. I like Air Forces. And I know what I like now. And that's taken... I didn't used to know that as much. I'd buy shoes and I wouldn't wear them. I put them in the boxes.
I still fall for that. You
Yeah,
see
so
something,
do I.
it looks sick on Instagram. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that photo looks crazy. You get it and you're like, what am I going to wear that with?
It's
That's
literally
what I
how
mean.
George has made a living.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's literally what the Soul Supplier do, make everything look.
We help you. We help you.
Yeah.
Do not
Like
help
footwear.
me.
Yeah.
You help them.
Yeah. So I do the same. I still get caught by the marketing
Yeah.
machine and the angles and the view,
Yeah.
even though we do it every day.
Well, they're pieces of art, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's still a piece of art and you can look at it and appreciate it. Like, I've definitely got stuff.
What's your favourite shoe then? Recently?
Ever in history?
I guess recently. It's easier question to answer. Because when you're talking about them like pieces of art,
I can't even
Yeah.
remember what I've bought this year.
he's got too many.
I do.
If
Logan
how
Summer's got
many do
too
you reckon
many.
you have? Like a kind of
What, total?
ballpark figure?
Total?
Yeah.
Boom, boom,
2
boom.
houses worth.
2 houses.
Boom,
What the
boom,
cost of 2
boom.
houses or like the space of 2 houses?
Where? Where's this house? Definitely not in London. Definitely not in London. Yeah, my mum's loft is a no-go area, and I've got the second bedroom in my apartment is just full to the ceiling.
What would you say is the rarest thing? Rarest?
Red Octobers are the rarest.
Oh, you got a pair of Red
Yeah?
Octobers, yeah?
Yeah. For retail when they came out on Twitter. That was funny.
Yeah, I remember that day that the Twitter link broke.
I was
oh,
on
wow.
Twitter.
Which was like 4 years ago, right?
I was on
Bit
Twitter.
more than that. Bit more than that, mate.
5 years. It was about 5 years ago.
No, it's not. It's
It
more.
would have been 5 years.
Actually, you're right. 5-6
It would have
years
been
ago.
about 5 years. He's
He's gonna
bringing
find
up?
it now. Look.
Or is he just tweeting something?
Yeah,
He's gonna
just
find
gotta
it.
do my social media.
No.
This is a first for the podcast. Logan's like literally. This is the epitome of social never sleeps.
Yeah, but this is what happens when you get
I want
like,
to
you know,
find my
these...
confirmation email.
Oh god, what Yeezy 350 V2s?
No, my
If you can pull up an email from 5 years ago, I'll be proud of you.
I can pull up emails for way longer than that.
Oh, what? I didn't even start reading my emails till a couple of years ago.
I couldn't even read.
Whoa, like.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I'm having a week off from getting onto you, George.
I can remember when they came out.
Easy.
Though. I can't find the email. Sorry, it's probably.
Hey.
I can remember when they came out. I was on Twitter
Yeah.
bantering Man United fans because they drew with Fulham. It was like a last-minute equaliser.
Wait, one minute. What football team do you support?
I support West Ham.
I mean,
So
Okay.
it was funny because it was like a last-minute equaliser at Old Trafford, and I'm on there typing my tweet, and I hit send, and I see at Nike Store Europe, the Nike Air Yeezy 2 is now available.
Mad.
Click, 10, add to cart, check out. Wow.
Is this real?
Yeah.
It was that easy?
Although it wasn't that easy in the end because I don't know if you know, like, you know when you pay on PayPal and you hit the pay thing and it takes you back to the Nike store, you have to hit confirm
Submit.
again.
Yes.
And I was in such a frantic state that I didn't hit submit again.
You just watching, looking at it.
And I closed and I came out of the Twitter thing. I came out of the Nike website. And I'm in the Twitter. You know, like when you open a link in Twitter, it opens in the Twitter
You can
browser.
close it
Yeah,
easily.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
So
then
I'm
it's
like-
gone.
And that's what I thought. I thought, oh no, I've closed it and I didn't hit submit. And it's not going to be in the cache because there's no basket because
Yeah.
it wasn't done on Google or Safari. I clicked the link again and it was still in my basket and I checked out.
Hey.
Yeezy 2 Red October.
That is
£225.
But now they do actually, as soon as you close it, the cookies go, and it does do that now.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Is there anything that you're really looking forward to this year?
TM Freeze.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
TM Freeze. Should I have seen these? I mean, you don't know what they are. I can tell by the look on your face. You don't know what they are.
TL2 99s and TN3s. I don't know if TL2 99s are coming out 100%, but they're cold.
You try and push your insecurities onto me.
No, I don't.
In front of our audience. You do.
Why are you pointing down there?
Because that's where the audience
You've seen the pictures of these.
Oh yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah.
I just didn't know they were TM3s.
These.
Yeah.
They're coming back this year.
Yeah, they're coming out this year.
Shit.
What do the Soul Supplier do, bro?
Listen.
I'm available for consulting.
Do you know what I mean?
Logan, let's have you in, mate. Because
Logan's here doing
and
the latest news,
apparently
views
they're
and
retro
reviews.
in these, and like for old men like me, they're sick.
Old men. You got to stop
I
dropping
don't know
that,
if the
man.
Air Max 99 is going to get a re-release this year.
Yeah, I think they are still.
Oh, okay, well, Logan is obviously
That's
a lot
not
more...
like the
plugged up
TN3
than I am.
is a sick shoe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, now he's a fountain of knowledge on the shoe.
No, I know the shoe. There's
Oh,
like a
no.
lot of OG pictures always out there going about.
Yeah, they've been putting up pictures of the retro for like the last 3 months as well, but there's no release date.
But there's people that have the OGs anyway, and you see them just standing in them. They look sick.
They look sick. I really like them.
What do you think about the way some of the collaborations are going with things like Off-White and Sakai and stuff like that? What are your thoughts towards it?
They're not anything new.
Did you get the Sakai?
No, I thought they were fucking ugly.
Same. We're good.
I will happily leave them.
Yeah.
Hideous.
They were weird, right? With
Like
that extra sole.
70s aesthetic. I don't like. You won't see me wearing.
Are you kind of like an Air Max guy?
I'm a
Yeah.
90s guy. Yeah.
Would you say that your collection is predominantly Nike as well?
Yeah.
You're not really much of an Adi guy.
I find like Adidas stumble across a silhouette that works and then run it into the ground because it's really like one of a handful of silhouettes that people care about, and then they kill it and then they can't do anything with it and they have to wait until they find another one. So they did it with the ZX Flux. Can you buy a ZX Flux anymore? Does anyone want to buy a ZX Flux anymore? Have you seen an Ultra Boost release recently that anyone's gone, yeah, like they even the Bape Ultra Boost didn't have mad resale. Like it was $20 on retail for the resale of those, and if they came out a while ago,
I like that.
they actually look sick.
He knows his resale.
Yeah, he's
They actually
right,
look
he's
sick
right.
as well. I think they're cool,
Yeah.
but it just shows you that like they're just oversaturated.
Yeah.
And now I think the 350's done now. After this black drop, I can't.
Well, there's 20 Yeezy releases this year, isn't there?
They've killed it, man. Like
It's not done.
I still like the 700s. I think the 700s are a cool silhouette.
Yeah, I like
in
it.
specific colorways.
The
right?
black one looks sick.
But
Yeah.
there's like I've seen 5 colorways already coming out. Like there's too many. They're doing too much and they're oversaturating, and it always happens because they don't have. Nike have such a wide and rich catalog of silhouettes that they can just rotate through. That when they bring back, oh yeah, by the way, we're gonna let you buy the Air Max TN original colorway now, and everyone goes, oh sick, yeah, wicked. I had these when I was like, because they haven't been trying to run out a million TN colorways for the
I think
last
that's a
Yeah,
London thing, though.
Yeah, but also
That's a UK thing.
For example,
A
that
lot
shoe
of that sort of.
that shoe didn't do too well though, man. For example, I mean, I used the TN
Well,
as
yeah,
an
they
example, but
did
I
better.
don't think TNs have done very well in general.
They have, man.
They're
Really?
really good. They're really good sellers.
I
Yeah,
don't
absolutely.
see that many TNs on the road.
They're huge. They're one of Nike's most popular, in line with the Air Force and the 270.
What, currently?
Last
Yeah,
year,
currently.
Really?
TNs were like up there with some of
Yeah.
the best-selling styles.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes, really, yeah.
I don't see many TNs.
Do
Maybe
you
I'm
know
looking in the wrong
the
areas.
best-selling Nike silhouette
Yes,
is?
it begins with T.
Tangent. Yeah. All right, we're one step ahead of you here, man. We know this one.
Yeah.
Sports
Yeah.
Direct Special.
Did you see the podcast with Andy, Sneaker Dog?
I didn't know.
No. Have you seen any of the others?
No.
Okay. All right. Cool. I think we better end it there.
No, I'm joking.
Yeah, no, we were talking about the Tangent with
It's crazy the stuff that sells, man. It's crazy the stuff that sells.
But I suppose it's just an everyday shoe for that person
Yeah.
that's not looking for a train ice. It's the Commute Issue, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks okay. Looks okay, and it's.
You see a lot of them in the
50
gym.
quid shoe.
You see a lot of them in the gym on kind of like people who are not really into
It's a
that
shoe for people that are
sportswear
not
fashion.
overly concerned, but they're concerned enough that they want to wear a Nike shoe in it, but they're not like, oh, I want a exclusive one. So,
which
yeah.
is, I was in that mindset when I was a certain age as a kid, and before I had this like, I was like, I need to get the best Nike shoes now. All of a sudden, and then you start going down this path of I want all of these sorts of shoes.
Yeah.
But there was a point where I was just enjoying those sort of shoes.
Yeah.
You know, like the normal, you wouldn't care too much.
Yeah.
And then there's a point where you get that. Okay, now I need this, and then it switches, and then you're done for. And then you're spending money.
Exactly.
And then you can't see it. You can't look back.
No.
It's so mad though, because like if you look at the kind of the grime scene now, it is very much like Nike orientated. A lot of people.
Oh, it has been.
Yeah.
But I think that's just
But then
the
that's,
UK in general.
But then you
UK,
think, I
London,
don't know,
yeah.
man. You think back, and I remember seeing the photo shoots of like DWE and Kano where they're like dripped in Adidas when they
because
kind of
Adidas gave everybody garms.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying
Like, it was notorious that like Roll Deep would go to the Adidas HQ and just like walk out with supermarket sweep, like crazy amounts. They'd give it out to guys in the ends, like they'd come back to the ends and give it out like it was New Jack City giving out turkeys. Do you know what I mean? Like they took the piss. And
but it's not kind of the same thing now with Nike.
Not really. It's hard to get Nike, bro.
There you
Is
go.
that because you're
Man are still gassed when they get Nike boxes coming to their yard, bro. I see the videos still to this day.
There you
To
go.
this day.
There you go. And I'm glad that you said that, because people assume that we can get loads of stuff for free
Yeah.
and easily. It's not that easy.
Do you not
It's
get loads
like-
of stuff for free and easily then?
No, man. Like the stuff that high heat.
Stuff that you
especially-
ask. There's a difference between getting what you ask for and here's some.
You've literally
Here's
got
a
12
random
pairs of
colourway.
Weatherspoons underneath your desk.
No, man.
Jeez.
No, I haven't.
And the address here is.
I wish. I've got one more pair that
Yeah.
I've got. I've got 2 pairs. Do you like the Weatherspoon? Wotherspoon?
Do you know what?
It's Wotherspoon, by the way.
I know.
I wasn't a huge fan because I don't really like Air Max 1 sole units.
Really?
No, I
Man,
don't.
that shoe
Man,
killed it. for me.
Ironically, because I'm wearing them, but I don't like Air Max 1 sole units particularly.
Yeah.
And I
That
saw
offends
them.
me a little bit, man.
I
No,
saw
I
them.
agree with that. The Air Max 1 sole.
It's
out
only
of
personal.
the-
I don't like it. It's not like I think, oh yeah, it's whack, man.
Think
It's
of all the
rubbish.
better sole units, like the 97, the 98, the
Yeah.
TN.
I'm not.
There's so
I
many
love,
better
oh, the
ones.
97 sole unit's amazing.
Yeah, man.
But
What are you talking
Air
about?
Max 1s, man.
yeah, I won a raffle on them and gave them to my cousin because he really wanted them. So
Yeah.
yeah.
You like the 97 though, yeah?
I love a 97.
Yeah.
97, 98, 95.
If you could only wear one shoe for the rest of your life, what would it be?
The first SK Air 97 because that's the most comfortable Air Max that I've ever worn in my life.
Oh, really?
I don't understand how that's so much more comfortable than other 97s, but it's crazy comfortable.
Bruv, I haven't put that on my feet to know that it's comfortable.
It's mad
It doesn't
comfortable.
look comfortable.
They're crazy comfortable. I don't
It's the
understand.
best one out of the 3. Oh,
I like the
don't
deluxe.
know.
I like all 3 of them, you know, a lot.
The deluxe, I don't know. Apparently, there's another one coming. That's what I've heard.
What,
Yeah.
the shocks that he's wearing with the red springs on?
Yeah, no, I think there's another one after that as well.
Another one as well.
Yeah, the shocks is.
What do you make of the shocks coming back, man?
Bruv, they're all hitting the sell rack, aren't they?
Are they?
Yeah, I don't think they really connected.
Yeah, the shocks were... It's funny because when I saw the Vapor Max, I actually said to them, this reminds me a little bit of the shocks. I wouldn't
Yeah.
be surprised if they bought the shocks back and then a year and a half later.
Yeah, I just don't think it connected. It didn't really have the same cultural relevance.
Yeah.
It just doesn't look... It doesn't look good, man. Like, the Vapor Max looks sick. It looked revolutionary. Then the shocks just looks old school and it doesn't...
I think sometimes
it's
when you
not-
bring back older shoes, they need to resonate with people in a certain
Yeah.
way. Like for me, I'm not a fan of the shocks personally, but it resonates with me because I remember Vince Carter wearing them in the NBA.
Yeah.
And that's like kind of my takeaway memory for it. And
But that doesn't mean that you're going to buy an R4.
no.
Do you know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
a TL. So, I don't think that it didn't have enough cultural like weight the way that 90s trainers did, because 90s trainers really was like the birth of everyone getting gassed about Nike in this country.
When did the shocks come out then? Was
So
it
this
this
is like
2000?
early 2000s.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is why I think out of the 3 Skepta shoes that we've had so far,
Yeah.
I think the Deluxe was the least popular. And I think the Deluxe model in general,
Yeah, the
It's
Deluxe
not a-
definitely didn't connect.
it's not a very desirable, the Air Max.
It's not
but
very deluxe.
I
Air
think
Max.
that's because
I love the
there's
Deluxe
no
model.
iconic colorway for people to resonate with. So you think of Air Max 1, it's the OG red or the blue.
Yeah.
I think of Air Max 90, it's infrared. 95 is the neon.
Can I just say, when I think of the Deluxe, I think of the blue and orange one that came out.
Yeah.
But the thing is,
No, that wasn't for
Yeah,
me.
but again, though, that's you because you was of age when that shoe
exactly,
first came out.
exactly.
Like, and
but-
it's not one that's forever been spoken about
and
as an Air Max.
I think another thing with the deluxe is it came and went, whereas the 95, the 95 and the 90 and even the 97, like they continually released them because the deluxe was just like a different upper on a 97 sole. They kind of did it, and then it was that. Same with the 98. The 98 is just a different upper on a 97 sole.
Yeah, but the TN3 as well. There weren't loads of those either.
I don't think the TN3 will do massively well. I'm gassed about it.
It's a specialist silhouette.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that, like, if you were buying trainers then, you definitely care about it. But it wasn't so hype back then that people wanted to, like, they were desperate to get them. It was like the TN3, like it's the third iteration of the TN. You got gassed about the first one because it came out and it looked sick, and then the second one was like a little bit of a remix of the first one. Then the third one, it changed, and it's just another shoe that's in Foot Locker. And
I think it's the epitome of a vintage Air Max, though. I think when you think vintage Air Max,
people don't
that's
buy
what people
things
think.
based on that. I genuinely don't think people buy things based on how good they look. I think they buy them based on how gassed everyone else gets about them, and if they remember them at the time. And like, remember when the Huaraches came back? When the Huaraches came back, that was mad because the Huaraches were around for long enough to build up that everyone definitely had a pair of Huaraches because they were around for like a good block of years. And then obviously they were smart enough to bring them back in all white and all blacks. When they dropped the all black Huaraches,
that was absolutely insane, man. And I remember Foot Locker had the rights to them at first, and it was just ridiculous.
That's the first time I'd seen normal people lining up for shoes.
Yeah.
By the way, like just normal breaders that don't know about any sneaker history, but they were out there waiting for those all black Huaraches to wear them.
Yeah, which was like what, 5 years ago now.
Yeah.
So the all black Huarache was.
I still wear my triple black Huaraches, but I'll wear them to like if I'm going to like football or whatever. Though it's more of a like kind of.
They're a comfy shoe. We gotta give it that.
But again, like it's a culmination of things. It was an iconic design. It was around for long enough for everyone to have a bit of it and remember it. And the utility's sick because they're mad comfortable and you can just kick them on and off. So,
that's it.
Do you know what I mean? They're super comfy. They go with the style of tapered trousers as well that everyone's kind of wearing again now. They look sick. Yeah, they worked. You know what I mean?
I still wear them now. I had a black grey pair that I was wearing last year.
I was wearing my Huaraches yesterday, the Ultras.
Yeah. I never really bought into the Ultras. Sometimes I feel like when they just...
I just bought them because they're the only triple white Huaraches I had in the shop.
Yeah, that's it.
Fair enough. The triple white ones that they did at first, they weren't that nice, man.
A lot of the Ultras don't bang, like in general, of any shoe. Like, I don't think it really did well.
No, like the 97 Ultra, nope. The
95 Ultra was horrible, didn't like that at all.
Oh,
yeah, that wasn't good either.
Yeah. What's the difference between Ultra and Hyperfuse as well, by the way? Like,
that's a good question.
So
the Hyperfuse is actually it is a special technology in the way the upper's made.
Yeah, but so's the Ultra where they use the upper and it's all like heat bonded, isn't it?
It looks like it's all one consistent panel. Yeah. It's a good question.
But yeah, because
maybe that Ultra just developed on what the Hyperfuse
perhaps
was.
Yeah, next iteration.
Because I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think the first time people really took notice of Hyperfuse was with that Independence Day Air Max 90, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because Jesus.
I really like the tonal 97s that they brought out.
That
I don't know
was
if you remember them. They had like bright orange, bright Pantone blue, light blue. They were bright. Luminous Volt yellow, and it was all one colour. They had a black and a white one. But 97s, they look really, really nice. They had an all red pair, and then they did the Independence Day, and they just branded them up with the little bit of the flag on it.
Yeah, they were crazy. I remember they hit the sales rack.
Really?
Yeah, they hit the sale. There were pairs in the sale rack. I think it was in Offspring. Money. They hit the sale rack. They went to like £60-70.
That's mad.
And then that's when it just went wild. Like people were paying £200-400 for them.
Yeah, they were going for $4.
Yeah. It used to always pain me when I used to see people wearing fake pairs though.
Oh yeah.
And they'll be like, oh yeah, I just paid £400. I'm like, oh God. Do you know that your flag is just like 3 centimeters too big?
Or when they're wearing like next colours.
Yeah, like luminous green and gold. Gold was the worst one. Some guy gassed me up so much in the shop. He came in wearing them one day. He's like, oh yeah, these are like, Dubai exclusive. I was like, no, they're fugazi, bro. They're not real. But
man said Dubai exclusive.
I just don't have the heart to tell people.
He had the Taobao exclusive.
I just don't have the heart to tell people sometimes when they're like. I remember when Yeezy first dropped, and people used to come into the store and be like, oh, can you check if they're real? And I'm like, bro, I'm sorry, man.
We don't do legit checks.
I can't do that, man. I'm not gonna break your heart in the shop, man. But because that was the Yeezy re-ones, like people were paying big money for them, man.
Yeah.
Big
They
money
were
at
that-
first.
They were like over $1,000, and I saw that. I was like, oh, that's mad.
Have you never been into Yeezy?
Yeah, I've got a pair of them.
I mean, like the Adidas ones though.
Yeah, got a pair of them.
Oh, okay, cool, fair enough.
So casual. Got a pair of them.
Yeah,
got all of them.
Doves,
Completed it.
Blacks, Moon Rocks.
Is Pirate Black the best one so far?
No.
What the
turtle.
Out of the 350s.
You know what?
The turtle dove.
I actually prefer the version 2 to the version 1. I like the sole unit better. I like the shape of it.
Wow.
All good, yeah.
I like the shape of it personally better. So for me, the Belugas, the first Belugas are the best ones.
But the first Belugas were V2s, no?
Yeah. So
Oh yeah, sorry. You said the
like
V2s you preferred. Yeah, sorry.
Then after that, probably the turtle doves, just because
I like the turtle doves. Yeah.
It was just, but the 350 was basically just like the evolution of a Roche run, man.
Yeah, but it looked a little bit more stylish.
I think there was a comparison to that as well.
Definitely. Didn't the Roshi run come after the?
No, it was before.
Was it before?
I think there was a comparison. I think we even made a comparison.
It's the Adidas version
back in the day.
There's actually there's a colorway of the Roshi run that has the same thing as
the Yeezy Rush Run.
Yeah,
that's what we were calling it.
Yeah, because there was a brother that came into my gym.
Green.
He came in and they had it basically looks like he's wearing the Turtle Dove V1s, but it's got a swoosh on the side. And I know they're not market store ones, but it's embarrassing still.
Do you ever think that we're gonna have another collaboration within the grime scene, like the Dizzy Rascal one?
Like the Dizzy Rascal?
Yeah, the Dizzy Rascal tongue-in-cheek Air Max 90s.
How? What do you mean like it?
Do you think we're ever gonna have anything of that kind of, like that was such a sought-after shoe and they're so limited. They're crazy limited. I see someone win a pair. I think it was a guy called Sneak Around. Shout out him. He actually
did he?
Yeah, I think you know what it was.
Yeah, I like
they did the auction. They did the auction when Grenfell happened. When Grenfell happened, and he paid a lot of money for them. Yeah. And all the money that they raised from this auction.
I think that was because
charity.
It's a weird one, right? Because we're in a time now where the artists have enough credibility and relevance to warrant a full release on a collaboration. Whereas back then it was like I will do a few pairs of these and friends and family thing, and it's like a promo thing. We want to work with Dizzy because he wore the BWs on the album cover and he's the voice of the kids and he wears Nike, and it makes sense. But now we're in a point where we'll do a collab with Skepta and we'll make 10,000 pairs. We'll make 50,000 pairs. And
do a collaboration
how
with
limited
Stormzy.
were the tongue-in-cheeks? Do we know?
I think they were their friends and family.
Yeah,
they didn't come on general.
Oh, is that right?
They might have had a one drop in a one shop.
Yeah, they are really, really nice pair. Yeah, I've named them as a pair that I really wanted.
I've never actually seen anyone wear them. That's how rare they are. And like all the sneaker events I've been to and everything over the years, I've never seen anyone wear a pair.
Yeah,
I'd bang them on. That's it.
I didn't like the 180s though. The 180s didn't.
No. It was the 90s was better.
Yeah, the 90s. Yeah.
Yeah, that was an interesting era then. Like that, you had like do you remember the Meat Liquor 90s?
Yeah.
That was a kind of similar sort of era. One of the first like hype collabs I ever picked up as well was around a similar time was the Stash Air BWs.
Yeah.
I
a weird colourway though.
I love the Stash colourway.
I don't know. I'm not a big fan of it. I think
it's
a
a weird
weird
grey and a dark blue. Beautiful.
Yeah, it's a weird colour blocking. I think. Yeah.
That looks sick to me. But I lined up for them outside. I can't remember where it was. Like some random Shoreditch pop-up venue because they did a gallery with some of his artwork and they had them and the Air Force highs.
Yeah.
The nozzle. They had a weird like nozzle airbrush nozzle print on. Yeah.
I don't know if I remember them.
No, I don't know.
They were white.
I remember
they were white, but it had like a nozzle print, and it was like iridescent almost. So you could, unless you held it up, you didn't see. But yeah, they did those as a pack. And yeah, I lined up for the BWs.
You need to do more footwear content on your social channels, man. Like you honestly, like your kind of depth of knowledge and just purely for the amount of pairs that you own.
Yeah, I've got legit like Air Max 95s from 1996.
We need to come and do like a Cribs episode with you.
Horrendously embarrassing for me because everything is not in any way like looked after.
Doesn't matter, man. That's the beauty of it. I think that's gonna be the next stage. I'm gonna put together a content plan for a Cribs episode.
Get the funding.
Yeah. What funding?
Yeah, mate.
Well, we got to pay you.
No, not for me. For putting the content.
Oh right, yeah, okay. Cool.
Content costs money to make, you know.
Yeah.
I got an iPhone, man. It's simple. It's simple. We do it on Snapchat. It'll be fine.
iPhone gimbal. That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
This is Cribs.
Shout out to DJI.
Yeah.
That's all we've got to do, man.
There, mate. See, there's always angles.
You got a podcast, right?
Keeping it grimy.
Keeping it grimy.
Yeah, obviously.
Which is true to the name from the day.
Yeah, I try. I come up with the name because it like does exactly what it says on the tin. I felt like it described me really well. And in a time where like so many people were like going off and not doing grime or leaving grime behind or whatever, and grime wasn't really like, the artists were going off, but the genre and the scene wasn't really following them. I thought, yeah, like I need to just keep it grimy and do that. So
keep it grimy.
so,
That's simple.
like,
I love it, man.
All the stuff that I kind of do is related to that, and obviously stuff that I'm passionate about, I can talk about all day. Clearly, so like with grime, I've been doing it for so long. Just thought I have these conversations on the phone with people anyway. Like we'll catch up and we'll just talk shit for an hour and what have you, and we'll talk about things and how we feel about stuff, and you know where things are going, what we need to do, all that sort of stuff. So I thought, yeah, why not just like record some of them, because
the one with Devlin is probably my favourite one, I think. Yeah. And I think that's just because
that's the only one that I've done where it's like someone that I've not really spoken to before.
Really?
Yeah, no, I say that in the thing. Like, he's not someone that I've really...
That's like, it's the two most geezerest people on a podcast ever.
It's funny, isn't it? You haven't even spoke to him and it was the best in your eyes.
Yeah, well, I think obviously because I kind of like resonate with the fact that it was Devlin, and I think that London City tune, I think, is just such a soundtrack to like a certain time in my life. Like you can kind of like resonate to the song so much. Man, I've said the word resonate a lot today, innit? I should get like a little clicker
word
in there.
of the day.
Yeah. Can we get that, Cash? A little like resonate button in the corner.
Cash doesn't care right
he
now.
Couldn't give a monkeys, mate.
Yeah.
But I like that one. Obviously, I think the most recent one was with JK, right? Or was that the one before?
With Sharky Major afterwards as well.
Okay, yeah. So the JK one was the last one I saw. But how are you finding it?
Yeah, I'm learning. It's like a one-man show. So as you know from the JK one, the footage of that looked appalling because the autofocus fucked up.
This happens sometimes.
Yeah, man. You know, but I'm learning as I go. I'm trying to improve as I.
And you're doing it all on your own as well. Like you're editing and you're recording.
I've got a backpack. I've got, you know, like them camera backpacks.
Yeah.
With the orange lining inside. I've got a DSLR. I've got a smaller DSLR. I've got two little mini tripods. I've got the wireless mics. I've got a H4n Zoom recorder and a bag of batteries and SD cards, and that's it. We just hit record. I have to get up every 12 minutes to hit stop and start again on the cameras, and yeah, edit it up myself, put it up myself.
That's mad. We couldn't do this without Cash or Sam previously.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like these days, if you come up with something that you think's a good idea, you need to just start it.
That's it.
Just do it, yeah. Just do it.
I had a wonderful lady called Ice. She worked at Rinse. She did the video content at Rinse, and she's an amazing photographer as well. She's done some campaigns for Puma as well. Very talented young lady. And just because I know that she did the sets at Rinse, I asked her if she could help me out editing these, and it was what I was paying her. Like, it wasn't loads, but because I'm gonna do a podcast every week. Like, the cost was kind of mounting up, and it wasn't bringing in any revenue, so I kind of forced myself to learn how to do it myself to just bring the cost down, because
it's easy enough though, right? With the podcast editing.
I mean, you got two cameras, shots, two mic channels, chop. Like I can kind of edit anyway, because I've done edits with like radio edits for music, so I know about chopping having blocks on a screen and cutting them and lining them up.
Yeah, that linear editing.
Yeah, so that concept wasn't alien to me, and the cool thing is you can find out how to do absolutely anything on YouTube these days. Like, there's a any question, you can literally just type a question into Google, how do I do this, and someone will have made a tutorial for you.
So helpful. Yeah, that's how I learned everything to do with Photoshop, Premiere.
Yeah, Premiere is what
digital
I use,
marketing stuff. It's all there.
I literally did it like 2 weeks ago to learn how to
ride a bike.
No, empty my washing machine because it flooded.
My boiler
wasn't far off.
My boiler went off. Yeah, my boiler went off. And I wanted, it was in the morning, and I needed to have a shower, and there was ice cold water coming out. I'm like, oh,
man, you should have just got in there.
Wake up. It wasn't that. It was the fact of, like, I'm gonna have to do this for like 3 days until the man comes out and looks at the boiler and goes, don't know about that, mate. It's gonna cost you, but you might need a new one.
Fuck me, who's your boiler technician?
Cowboys, building cowboys. But I put the error message, typed it into Google, and there was a video showing me how to repressurize my boiler. So I just fixed it.
Yeah, I wouldn't have gone to
5
Google
minutes.
for the boiler. That sounds dangerous.
Well,
man.
there was no like real risk.
Was there?
I wouldn't have done it if it looked like, you know, there was
warning,
like steam coming out, and it looked like you know, like them scenes on like a submarine movie where they've been hit and it's like alarms going off and there's high pressurized super hot steam coming out. But yeah, I managed to fix my boiler off of YouTube. So God bless YouTube. Thank you for.
To be fair, I just did it when I flood Sheila downstairs. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know. There might be a name. I'm not sure, but
you know,
I don't use my washing machine ever in my flat. I'd go to laundry it.
I thought you was gonna say you just wear it once and throw it away.
Yeah, mate. Trust me.
Standard
Primark t-shirts, £2 a go.
Or para ones.
Yeah. No, I just drew this on before.
Fair enough, man.
Artistic skills.
Yeah, fair enough. What's next? What's next for Logan Sama?
The podcast, I imagine, is going to continue until you get to at least episode 100.
I just want to carry on doing it. The format works that I can just go back as well.
Yeah.
So like when I invariably run out of people to talk to, which I will do because Grime's a limited scene.
George has got a couple bars. He could probably make a feature.
We come to, like when you're ready to drop your mixtape, you can talk to me. But yeah, I just want to do more content. I think nowadays, like the idea of radio shows and labels and like all these kind of things are a little bit dated, and everyone's just content creators, man. Like,
yeah, you want authenticity.
Yeah, like,
you want to watch real people talking about real stuff.
Yeah,
unedited. When I say unedited, I mean
ain't that what the basement
unfiltered?
Was about?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Apart from people that use filters on Instagram all the time. But yeah, man. Like,
you know what I'm saying. That's
I think you just need to give people more consistent content because everyone's attention span's so small now. Like,
so does that mean that you need to give them more consistent, as in week in, week out, or you just need to give them smaller chunks of information at a time?
A bit of both. That's the skill, right? Like learning how to break down things so that, you know, like you guys must know.
I was shocked that this podcast done so well, to be honest, when it's that an hour every time.
No, but it's different things for different places. Like some of the people that will sit down and listen to the podcast for an hour are probably not the people that are just watching your Instagram stories and going, "Oh, that's interesting. Oh, yeah, sick."
Fair.
This
different people.
Yeah, you're so right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you got people like me that are just looking at your Instagram page and going, "Oh, yeah, that photo's nice. So I'll buy them and put them in a box and never wear them." And then like the people that are listening to the long form content or watching the long form content, you kind of have to do that now because everyone's engaged on different. Like it's on their own terms. Do you know what I mean? Like it's very much on demand. The consumer decides what they want to get and when they want to get it, and if it's not that, they'll find it from somewhere else. And like I'm learning kind of what works, what doesn't work. I'm learning what things I still want to do anyway, even if they don't. Like I love grime sets. I fucking love grime sets, and I think that like grime sets.
What grime sets with MCs where you're mixing?
Yeah.
Simple.
Like live bars
live
in a studio,
yeah.
mic in hand, live DJ mixing. I love them and I want them to stay forever. But they don't do mad views on YouTube, really.
Yeah,
like,
it's
they don't
mad,
do mad
isn't
views.
it? Yeah.
Like they used to do really good. Like I've had a couple where it's been like 500,000 or whatever.
Do you think it's because people's tastes are just changing within the music industry?
Just in general, it's never really done. It's never really done.
Okay, cool.
It's never really done like wild numbers, but I think it's important to still do things because, like, even with me, like with a podcast, it's very niche, right? It's a niche within it. Like grime's a niche genre, and then making an hour-long content of just talking about the music is a niche within a niche. But for me, I care about doing good quality stuff and getting to the right people, not making stuff that's playing algorithms and getting to the most people. And because that's like McDonald's versus, you know, Michelin star restaurant. Like I really believe the quality of the content that I'm making is the best that it can be for what I am passionate about. Whereas there's people over here that will just churn out, oh, what's the trends at the moment? What are the metrics? What's giving us our best return on this and that? And that's how you run a business, obviously. But like, I've never really been like that. I've liked the art. I care about art. So.
I think that's why you can kind of link that to, you know, influencers and sneakerheads within the industry. So influencers will just be sent product. They will post it up. They will talk about, this is great. Thanks very much. See you later. Cheers. Shout out to them. I mean, whereas a sneakerhead will genuinely like, you know, the appreciation and love behind that product. Which is why I've always kind of said, I think sometimes retailers and brands should seed their product to some of their customers as opposed to their influencers. I think it would make a bigger impact within
the kind of community that we have as a kind of footwear industry.
But they do that, and then because every influencer within the sneaker culture is a consumer.
Yeah, but I mean the guy that hasn't got 150,000 followers.
Yeah, but he didn't have 150,000. That's the thing. Like, that guy becomes the influencer down the line. Do you know what I mean? All you guys here were just lads that like going and buying trainers. Now let's have a chat about it. Let's do some videos, because I've seen people do review videos of other stuff. So let's do it for trainers. Wicked. All right, cool. Yeah, here's the new thing. What do you think of it? And you can either be the guy that says any piece of shit that you're sent is interesting, or the guy that says, you know what, I really like this and this is why. This one, I love this company, but you know what, they flopped it on this shoe, and you know they ain't done it.
It's got to be authentic.
Real, like you said, real talk, authentic.
Yeah.
People buy into. People trust people. They don't trust brands. I think people trust people. I think if you, for example, and I use the example of George. So people trust George and the Soul Supplier.
Right people are telling them it.
But people will trust George and the Soul Supplier because George is such a prolific face to the business. Whereas when you have a business that's sometimes faceless but just churns out like information or product, then you know it can get lost on the consumer. But he'll openly talk about, and this sounds like I'm just bigging you up, but this is genuinely what I think. Like he'll talk about a shoe and be honest about it. He'll say, "No, I like this shoe, but it's not for me. Like, you know, this will look really good for you, but it's not for me personally." And I think that's the key. That it's authenticity, like you said, and it's just, you know, people trusting what it is that you have to say.
Yeah, I'm keeping quiet mainly just because I'm agreeing with everything you say. What you were saying about putting out the content and not waiting for it to be like the best looking content. Whatever it is, we got to get the content out. People's attention spans are short.
Iterations, man. It's iterations. Like,
and it gets better. You learn more.
Yeah.
And
or it might just be a flop, and then you learn real quickly that this wasn't the thing to do, and let me just try something else. And you got to keep coming back and trying until you find something that hits.
But what you said about the backpack, you're going around with your backpack, you've got all your kit, you're making the content, and that's what counts. Because some people are out there with the kit, and they're just not making it. They're just saying it has to look like this.
Think about when you go to a footwear event.
I was that person. I was like, you know what? Like, I'm Logan Sama. I've got myself to this position.
That's it.
I have this idea, and everything I do has to get better. And I have this perfect idea, and I want it to look like this, and we can get like this, and we can do this. And you know what? Actually, you know, Grime's not as exciting now as it was 3 years ago, and we're not really looking to invest in that, and the budget isn't here for it. I'm like, okay, well, I can't buy a red cam myself. I can't buy 3 Sony A7 cameras myself, but I can get, you know, I have a DSLR.
Yeah, well, you send in for us there.
Well, I'm just saying I can't. You man have got more P's than me in a showdown.
George has got more P's, to be fair.
No, I haven't.
He has a fresh pair of Off-White Air Force every time we do an episode.
Jeez, breaks out another one.
No, I
swear
don't.
to God,
and then throws them away afterwards.
And then he puts out content saying, "Oh, look, these are bad," and he's got like 6 more on ice.
Why does he have to drop this shit?
Underneath the table with his 9 pairs of Wotherspoons.
Exactly, 12.
12.
But so my kind of thinking and idea for you coming on the podcast, it came from you actually commenting on one of the old videos of one of the podcasts, and it was on something that I said about Adidas not really having to market Yeezy product, and just from a case of like when the Wave Runner dropped, they didn't market it because Kanye just wore it 6 months before the release. Everyone got gassed about it, and then.
Do you see Kanye wearing Yeezy shoes these days?
Yeah, some crazy new ones.
No, but like, do you see Kanye wearing the 350s that are dropping? Do you see him wearing them?
Yeah, but before they drop.
You don't really see him wearing them, bro.
But
I pay attention. You don't really see him wearing them.
But his marketing of the shoe,
and that's why.
But where does it come? It's Kim. Kim.
Tail off.
He doesn't need to market. He just gets Kim to wear it, and then all of a sudden the whole internet's talking about it.
Because Kim's wearing them.
Well, no, but that's where people are talking about it from, though. So Kim gets spotted in them. The image goes on social media, and it's almost like the Yeezy basketball shoes, the perfect example. Yeah. Everyone's talking about it because Kim was wearing it, because she's always going to be the first person seen to be wearing it. But I mean, him and her.
So that's why people are talking about them.
Huh?
And they still ain't come out a year later or whatever it is. So.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the first time that I had seen someone wearing them in the flesh was. I know the other day the picture went viral. Her in the tracksuit bottoms as well. No, there was a picture of her that went with the tracksuit bottoms as well.
Are we talking about the ones that have got like the black at the back and they're like a bit speckly at the front, and they've got like
they're taller,
and they've got
taller.
and they've got kind of like a Yeezy style sole unit as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been around for time.
Yeah, there's been leaked images of them for a while. Yeah,
like him wearing them for time. Yeah,
but that's where that's where the Yeezy marketing comes from, though. Them two wearing it.
Didn't. It came from him wearing it. And now he doesn't really wear. You see him out wearing a madness now.
Yeah, but that's he doesn't have. What I mean is that Adidas don't have to market it any other way. They don't. They're not putting it out anywhere like where they market any other shoe.
I feel like the fact that he's not wearing them as much, it hurts.
Really?
Yes.
Do you think it's slowing down?
Yes, definitely.
You know, I think it's just a case of there's just more numbers of the shoe.
And he's not gassing them up either. Like, if I'm an artist and I make something. And I'm not treating this something that I make like it's the best thing. I say this to MCs all the time. If you treat your music like it's some throwaway, here you go, free download thing, you know, I just done this little light something, have that in it. It's not going to make you money because you're not treating it like it's
valuable,
something of value. And I don't get that from Kanye and the Yeezy line anymore at the moment. Like, when I see Virgil dealing with the Off-Whites and it's like, I will give this to you, my friend, Drake, or my, you know, very important influencer, and I'll write on it and it's a valuable thing that only you can have, very important man. You're like, oh shit, I need them. Like, the way that he treats the Off-White Nike stuff is way up here.
But it's just it's still marketing, but it's just them marketing as opposed to the brand doing it, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's more the point I was kind of referring to.
Yeah. But I was going on a little bit of a tangent. But yeah, they don't need to because they're tapping into the popularity of the person, same way that Drake's on a deal and he hasn't had a real shoe yet.
Yeah, his shoe line's awful, man.
His shoe line, he hasn't even got one.
Well, I mean, they've had a few OVO Jordans, haven't they?
Yeah.
The Jordans.
Some of the colourways have been nice.
The white and the black, you're talking about?
I rate them.
Some of them were clean. Some of them were clean.
I know what you mean, but they just didn't hit as much as they should for Drake.
No, definitely not.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Definitely not.
How big Drake is and just how his shoe line didn't really hit. Even though it sold out, it wasn't the same as some of the others.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't.
I suppose if you look at rappers in general, though, how many others can we think of where their shoes absolutely banged? That have had shoes.
And you got to remember that they're not like one-off shoes either. Like they're colorways.
Yeah,
it's a difference between having a colorway and a signature shoe. But yeah, the Travis Scotts have fucking done all right, haven't they?
Yeah,
I would say Drake's a bigger artist than Travis Scott.
Yeah, definitely.
But that's still a colourway of a Jordan.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, but like it's
Jordan. There's a difference between using like a Jordan 8 and a Jordan 1, though, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. But what Logan's saying, I guess, is that it's a colourway of an existing.
Yeah.
To me,
I'm still waiting for someone to drop their own.
Yeah.
I suppose like someone mentioned this to me the other day. Like Jay-Z had them bootleg Gucci joints for Reebok that did okay. They sold 10,000 units quickly. That was like their fastest selling shoe. Do you remember the
way back,
the S. Carters, the Reebok S. Carters,
way back.
Yeah.
This is before G Unit.
So I'm an old man. I'm an old man in this team.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they were basically like retooled like old 80s Gucci's sneakers. They would look like Gucci.
And that was the sneaker that was his sneaker. Like, it was his style.
S. Carter.
Yeah.
It was like designed by him.
That's a good point, isn't it? We need to see a style
so
made.
There's a difference. Like I want to see.
Yeah.
More of that. I think that would be cool.
Yeah, this is the Nike. This is the
Nike
Virgil Abloh.
It's just hype on hype, isn't it?
Yeah.
Otherwise,
the Nike Air Virgil.
And then you're kind of like you said, you're kind of tied into
what shoe
you gonna let me do?
The Fear of God one.
Yeah.
Now that you can probably argue.
Some of them are hideous, man. Oh my god.
Yeah, I think so.
The Fear of God one, I like them a lot.
Yeah, they're sick. I think the Raids are nice. Do you know what? Actually,
what the ones with the flap that bends?
No. The Raid, I didn't like it at first.
Yeah.
But I actually saw someone wearing it today. And I won't lie to you. As soon as I saw them wearing it on foot, I went on StockX to see how much they were going for because I was tempted.
How much were they going for?
Like $199.
Oh damn, that's below retail, bro. Peak. But yeah, I think that kind of showed you. But again, like oversaturated. If they'd just done the Fear of God ones and like left it there, but it's like Fear of God ones. Then we've got the ones that haven't got the tick on. Then we've got the ones.
Tick or swoosh?
Swoosh. I trained myself to say Nike though.
Yeah, that's
good. I trained myself to say Nike.
Do you know how much I get? My mates get onto me that aren't into trainers. I say, "Oh, Nike." They go, "Nike."
My girlfriend spelt it with a Y when I told her it was Nike. I swear to God.
Nikki S and Nike.
She wrote it down one day. I was like, "What's that?" She's like, "Nike." You said it's said like that.
Oh,
It's
a
like
white
that-
at the
it's
end.
like-
A
wait,
white at the end.
at the end.
Wait, was that Taz?
Like
Yeah,
spiky.
Shout out Taz.
Yeah, shout out Taz
Thinking,
for
what
getting
are you
that
doing,
wrong.
Taz?
But yeah, man, I'd like to see
Yeah.
more actual signature shoes. I think that's pretty cool, and it worked really well for Kanye.
Yeah, and the fear of
You
God,
are
like you
when
say.
you do these collabs, you are definitely like tied into what shoe they give you.
Yeah,
Do you know
so
what
this
I
is what I was going to come back to
Depending
with
on your
this.
status.
I was going to come back to this with the
I don't know
Skepta
if
release.
it's the status, but it's like the success of the shoe is definitely tied into like if someone said, yeah, man, we can do a collab and it's going to be the Roshi Run. We'll do the Soul Supplier
I'd buy
Roshi
it.
Run. Like
I'd buy
he'd
it.
buy it, but you know in your heart
Shit.
that shoe
Be a
is not
hard
going to
decision.
fly out.
But
Do you know
this
what I mean?
is the thing though. I was going to come back to
Yeah.
the free Skepta shoes that we've had so far.
Yeah.
I genuinely don't believe he had any desire whatsoever to use the deluxe. I think they gave him the deluxe because they knew it was a shoe that they were going to bring out because of the anniversary of it or the
I think
re-release
it's,
of it.
it's a shoe that he would wear.
He's the right age for that to be a thing as well.
I don't
And
know.
do you know
I
what?
don't think it was a shoe that he was selected.
Can I tell you
man.
the truth? Before the Deluxe Retroed, if you'd have asked me what sneaker could you do with Nike, if you got a collab, what would you do? I would have said the Deluxe.
Really?
There you go.
Hand on heart.
How many
There
pairs of
you go.
deluxes you own?
Now,
Yeah.
like 9.
When was the last time you bought a pair of deluxes? Other than the Skepta ones? Probably didn't buy. You probably got friends and family for them, no?
No, I bought another pair.
Jeez.
Let
Rock it, don't stock it.
me think. What's the last pair of Deluxes that I bought?
I'm really, really interested
I've
to
got, like, the
see your
Guava
collection
Ice
now. You
ones.
know,
The Guava Ice ones.
I'm really
Pretty
interested
cool,
to see your collection now.
'cause they
Yeah,
like match
we wanna
perfectly with
know.
my Supreme box logo.
Jeez, I
Trust
like
me.
it. I like
That
it.
was a humble.
All right, Logan, thank you for coming down.
Pleasure, man.
It's been great having you on. And as Cash said, make sure you tune in next week for the best sneaker podcast in the world.
I will make sure that I go and catch up on the previous 12 episodes as well.
Sweet.
Bless.
Nice one.
Thank you very much.
Thank
See
you.
you next time.